In November last year, 1 week after we celebrated this channel's 1 year anniversary, I went live and asked chat for ideas for an adventure. And you folks in chat, in the live stream, we started making the shape of a rough outline of something that could be a beginning adventure. And then over the course of the next half year, we continued streaming once or twice a month and just talking about what we wanted to do. What kind of adventure do we want to make? And we made a town together. We made all kinds of different 5-room dungeons together, and we wrote down various outline ideas. And then when it came time to plan this year for our Mystic Arts Patreon and the broadsheets, I made sure to carve out a month in February to allow ourselves to get a little bit ahead of schedule so that we would have time to have 2 months to write the entire adventure. I thought that was a reasonable time frame. It really wasn't. We ended up making a 160-page campaign book. I think it probably takes 30 sessions or something to play through, and it accidentally became huge, just massive. So I figured I'd go live and we'd talk about the whole process behind that thing and just sort of catch up because it has been an insanely busy couple of months here at Mystic Arts. And we are taking a little bit of a step back from the broadsheets for now, and we're going to focus on different kinds of stuff on the Patreon. We can talk a little bit about that over the course of the live stream. I can tell you a little bit about UKGE, because me and AB went to the UK Games Expo convention in Birmingham at the NEC, and we've got a whole bunch of plans brewing. But right now, I just want to say hello, everybody. Welcome to Mystic Arts. My name is Daði. I'm a professional writer and director, and I've been DMing for a little over a decade. And if you hear loud clicking in the background, that's because AB is behind me editing our actual play that hopefully will go live sometime this year. We'll see. That's a little bit scary. Scary to say out loud, but she's making good progress on the first episode. AB, how are you feeling? She loves it. She thinks it's the best thing in the world. How far into the first episode are you? Half an hour?
I don't know how many hours just to do the last like 10 minutes.
Oh,
'Cause there's
God.
so much back and forth. And it's also like when we all meet, so it's like super dramatic.
Yeah. We've started filming an actual play in I want to say January, February, something like that. Spent an obscene amount of money on cameras and gear because we wanted to film it all in the same quality that we do here normally, and bought a bunch of lav mics. These are this is not sponsored. I posted about these lav mics because they're really good, and somebody left the Patreon in a huff because they thought I was being paid to say that we bought lav mics, but we bought them. They're tiny little things, and everybody just wears them, and they're omnidirectional, so they're really small, like radius on them. And my only issue with them is that they have a brand logo right at the front, so we had to get someone to paint over it so that it wouldn't be visible, because otherwise everyone would be getting constantly advertised these microphones. So not only was that not an ad, we go out of our way to make sure it wasn't an ad. There's just a non-stop array of hearts. Hi, everybody. Hey, Lou made it. Everybody. Look, it's Lou and Nax. The Champ Games. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Fantastic. I had a list of things that we could talk about. Let's see. Yeah, you're live. No, we're live.
Oh god, they know in real time how much work I have done.
Yeah. AB's confused because I just filmed this week's video. This week's video. I decided to take the advice of there's this dude on the internet called Mystic Arts. I don't know if anybody gives a shit about that guy, but he uploaded a video asking where are all the D&D reviews, and then, that week D&D releases a book, and I decided to go talk about it. Spoiler alert, I think it's very good, and I think it has no reason to exist. So you're gonna have to watch that video when it comes out. Gifted subs. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mitchell. That's Llama Man. Thanks, Llama Man. And thanks, Goodnut. I saw it gifted earlier. Thank you for streaming at a reasonable time for once. Good. This is reasonable. AB. AB. Lou says your tattoo is incredible.
Oh, thank you. I've never spent so much money on a tattoo, so it better look good.
Oh, thanks, Champ Games. Thank you very much. Love your content. Oh, that's lovely. Good job on the campaign book. Have fun doing it. We had a great time. It was an obscene amount of work, but we had an absolutely fantastic time doing it, and we're so proud. I was talking to the artist over the phone yesterday, and we were just talking about how incredibly proud we were of the work we'd done, and how we like feel it. We feel it like beaming within us. We were like, I can't believe we did this. So we're just so proud of it. Oh, Stephanie, you want to see something out of the book? Let me show you. You want to see the passage? One of the first things we figured out is that we wanted to do a pastiche of Annihilation. We were like Annihilation plus Last of Us in D&D, and hang on, this is the finale. Spoilers. This is the finale of the book. Where should I be? Should I be sort of in the middle? Hello. This is the finale of the book, Canopies Breach. This is the tower that's sunken into the swamp. And if I flip the page, where is it? Here, look at that. How good is that? That is the fungal queen. This is the fungal queen, and this is her crown. Her crown made of mushrooms. Stephanie says she loves frontier settings and adventures. This is right up your alley, Steph. This is a blast. This whole thing is all about like sort of Americana, the Atroxian frontier. It's cowboys and Lewis and Clark. It's all this kind of exploring the wilderness, finding out what's really out there, and uncovering the mystery in the hex crawl. Let me see if I can show you the hex map. This is a sort of snazzed up version of the hex map we made. We ended up updating this on stream. This is like 2-minute tabletop icons. And over the course of exploring all these hexes... Hang on, I'm covering half of it. Over the course of exploring all those hexes, you discover what really happened in the distant past of this adventure, what happened in the setting, and you find out what's really going on, and that's going to bring you over to the center of the map, Canopies Breach, after you've learned about the Battle of Canopies Breach between King Arthur III and Queen Assaria, the Queen of Druids. So I think this is sick. I'm really happy that chat convinced me to do mushrooms, because when we first said it, I was like, well, didn't we just do a mushroom adventure? And chat told me I was being a stupid dumb idiot. And you know what? I should listen to chat. You people are amazing. This is so fungal. Yes, get a faux raccoon skin hat. Absolutely. Are you running out of wooded areas in Iceland to film around? Absolutely. Yeah, I think I've been in all of them now. Maybe there's 1 or 2 left, but they're a drive away. The Champ Games asks, where does one get this book? This book is available on the Mystic Arts Patreon. Hang on. Wow, this is the Mystic Arts Patreon. We have a whole bunch of stuff on here, including this book, the broadsheets, which is our sort of the setting, the mega city of Blackguard, which is all like Gaslight fantasy, Flintlock fantasy. That's more Gaslighty, and then this adventure is more Flintlocky. But they both have Flintlocks and Gaslight in both of them, so it's fantasy. We mix the genres. It's D&D medieval and Renaissance. Who cares? And the settings on here, you've also got your the firearm rules. You've got rules for a new class called the Warlord. You can buy them independently in the shop if you don't like subscription models, or you can join and become a Mystic Adept, which is the centered tier, for 10 euros a month, or I think it's 12.50 or whatever the current exchange rate is. I do not know. And that gives you access to everything on the Patreon, the entire backlog. So the cheapest way to do this is you join for 1 month. And if you don't want to be subscribed, you can cancel, and then you can just download the entire backlog. or you can stay subscribed and keep getting new stuff whenever we release it. I also said mushroom nights wouldn't work and would split the focus too much, and well, here we are. Yeah, have you seen the fungal knight? Where is the fungal knight? We're just gonna spoil this whole adventure on here. Uh, if you're gonna play in it, keep watching, because spoilers are fun. Here he is. Here's this bad boy. Look at him. Whoa. I'm so proud of this stuff. Thanks, Llama Man. Um, I figured we're just going to do sort of a bit of an update stream. I went to UKGE, and I wanted to tell you folks about some of the stuff I got up to on there. And we can also just talk. If you have stuff or questions you want to ask, we can talk about that on here as well. Whatever you want. I mostly just wanted an opportunity to tell you that, like, what's going on here at Mystic Arts, because we worked ourselves to the bone last couple of months, and we're all real tired. That doesn't mean that we're stopping, but it does mean that we're sort of changing a little bit how we're approaching all this, for a little. One major thing that we're doing is there's not going to be a broadsheet for the next couple of months on the Patreon. We're probably going to do new monsters. I know I want to do a map pack for Dillhorn and the Fungal Queen, and there's a couple of other things in the pike. Stuff I don't really want to spoil too much. We're working on. I actually want to tell you one thing. We are working on chase rules. Specifically, chases, vehicles, and ships are the sort of three big problems we're trying to solve at the Mystic Arts Patreon. One of our most popular things that we made is the dungeoneering rule. So we're wondering what other problems people would like our take on, and we do have a take on ships. And but in order for us to crack the ships, we sort of need a base system for vehicles, because we want the vehicle system to be not that different from the ship system. And in order for us to crack the vehicle system, we want to do it with cars and carts. And that means that we need to figure out chases and how we do them, and that should work on foot. So we want all of these things to build on top of each other, and so we're sort of trying to unhook them one at a time. I'm not certain in what order that's going to happen, or when we're going to do those things. But that is something I'm very excited about. I know Seth Skorkowski did a review of Call of Cthulhu and talked up the chase system in there, and I'm probably going to go have a look at it. And I also have a copy of Pirate Borg. What do I? Hang on, I have this. I got this at UKGE. This is the Pirate Board game. Hang on, I don't have my knife. And they have naval combat rules in here, so I'm gonna go grab a knife. AB, you're gonna have to entertain the audience.
Have you guys seen the new Hollow? Oh God, I'm so not used to streaming. Have you guys seen the new Hollow Warden Ranger? I can talk about it now because it's not under NDA anymore. I'm probably gonna swap to that subclass. Wow, check out my expensive tattoo. Oh my God, that is here. Goodbye.
We got sent the review copy of the Ravenloft book, which is what AB was referencing just then. Although I'm not sure she's allowed to say that.
Hell! Alright, sorry, Waxy. Sue us.
Don't. Alright, so hang on, we got a book here. Everybody watch Daði fumble around with a very big knife. I went to Luke Stratton and Limitron's booth at UKGE, and I was given this for free as a review copy. I don't know if I'll make a Pirate Borg review, but I'm certainly going to show it off here on stream. That's tightly packed. Markers, rules on the inside of the lid. That's cool. Pirate dice. Look at the dice, not my face. Pirate dice, including there's a coin in there that you can flip. I'll be able to show you that in a second. More gifted? Who's gifting? Thank you, Danzig. Thank you so much. AP, the people of your tattoo. Here's the coin. It's got a skull on one side and a 1 on the other. I'm wondering if that's a special mechanic or something in the game. I don't know. I am fascinated by it because I'd already bought the main book. I bought that on my own, and I told Limitron that, and they were like, but the optimum way to play is the starter set. And I went, okay, cool. I don't have the starter set. So they gave me the starter set and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's sort of a Morkborg-like, but it's way more legible. Way more legible text in it. If you're clicking on and thinking, wow, Daði wrote Pirate Borg, I didn't. No, I did not do that. Buccaneer. Buccaneer, buck far, wherever you buck. And then there's an adventure here, Trapped in the Tropics, which is supposed to be quite good, according to Ben Milton of Questing Beast fame. And then there's like a stack of character sheets. Whole bunch of stuff. But the main reason I'm looking at this is because there are ship maps, and they have naval combat. And that's what I told Luke. I was like, I'm trying to figure out naval combat stuff. And he was like, well, the starter set has some of that. So this is like a hex grid for naval combat. D2 is pretty common in Borg. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. I didn't know that. There's a crap ton of maps in this box. Oh my god. All kinds of maps. And then there's chits and tokens for like minis for bad guys. The most common bad guy is like a skeleton or a Brit. Those are the two main types. Either they're British or they're undead. Same difference, right? Here is a token map for like ships. So what I kind of want to do pretty soon is I want to play this. I've already developed with well, I was barely involved, but me and Magnus and Ivar, when we ran a mega game for like 30 some people, we developed a ship combat system. And that used like X-Wing rules, where you like determine how the ships are going to bank and turn, and then in the next phase of a turn, you make the attacks. We might do something like that. But we're gonna play this. We're gonna see it. We're gonna try and figure it out. I also have a black powder war game that uses little ships. And I've got a whole bunch of little ship minis that I painted with my friends. They're like this big. And we might go play the black powder game. That one seemed very simple as well. It was sort of different. What's the difference? What's the difference between what? Difference between these two things. Yeah, Trekkures is in chat. I also have stuff from Trekkures. Hang on. I left some stuff out of the box. Put the stuff back in the box. There's some cards in here. I'll have to do a proper deep dive on this, because they gave me a bunch of stuff. This is the YouTuber perk thing, right? That's cool. The challenge is going to be an unbiased review, if I do make one. But here's the stuff that I got. You know, I got some trifold adventures. What is this? A GM screen. More ocean tokens. A whole bunch of battle maps, I think. Hard battle maps. Cool. I look forward to telling you all about that game. I got a gift from Trek. Yeah. I got a gift from Trek. Well, actually, I didn't get a gift. He offered to give this to me, but I ended up buying it full price. This is Trek Heroes' Trek's Treasure Trove. It's called on DriveThruRPG. He made this with a whole bunch of my YouTube friends. Naigobi, who you might be familiar if you're a follower of the channel. She runs the YouTube channel Naigobi. Leo Art from Planner Express. Val from Corkboards and Curiosities. Caitlin Bradbury, Avi Leok, Izzy, Zango Games, Salty Nick, who I think is in chat, Boyan Valev, Devin DM, Prof, and Leo. And this is a little box. It's like a mimic. You open it at the mouth. And out come a whole deck of playing cards. I am going to put on my glasses for this. They've been bothering me all day, so I'm sort of professionally take it off. Yeah, I didn't let Trek Heroes give it to him. I was like, no, Trek, I'm gonna pay you money for your work. Which I didn't. I didn't apparently extend Luke Stratton the same favor at DM's Guild. Half YouTubers, half DM's Guild people. So these are the cards. I'm gonna try and show them off so that the light doesn't blast them to hell here. It's a huge deck of cards with magic items on them. There's art on one side and stuff on the back for how it works. For instance, I remember I looked at a couple of these before. So this here is the Promise to Return. That's what it looks like. Promise to Return. And it says, when you attune to this item, name a friendly person that you can currently see. As a magic action, you can expend your heroic inspiration to learn your distance and direction to the named person. That's pretty neat. It's an uncommon item, requires attunement. Spend heroic inspiration, you know where the person is. And the bottom half, this is the neatest part. The bottom half here is all like how to make it. It is not additional rules, but it is how to make it. Pretty neat. There's a link in the description if you want to check this out. I am not sponsored by them. I bought this myself. I think it's really neat. These are my friends, and the link is an affiliate link. But I just wanted to shout them out. Naigobi and Trek and everybody involved are good friends of mine who I got to meet, who I got the pleasure of meeting through this wonderful, wonderful opportunity of being on the internet. How do we get Steph a membership? A good question. There's a whole bunch of these. Someone want to give me a number between 1 and 100, and I'll go grab one from the middle of the deck. I mostly just want to yap and talk about. Oh, AB, you want to be modded?
Yes, please.
Sure. Add as moderator, managing moderator. You got the power. What?
They're not displaying the 69 numbers.
That's funny.
I had to click show.
Oh, really? Is YouTube auto moderating?
It's not like the sex number.
Oh my god. 78. So I'm going to go about 78% of the way through. That's about here. We're going to pull out a card. Pseudocide Doll. Well, let's see if I can get this on screen. Pseudocide Doll. Requires attunement. Stop it. Requires attunement. Rare item. As a reaction, when you take damage, you slip away into the ethereal plane and simultaneously conjure a false corpse to make it appear as though you have been slain. You are under the effects of the etherealness spell until the end of your next turn. As a bonus action, you can end the etherealness effect early. The doll remains behind, yada, yada, yada. Awesome, right? Next time you want to give it a magic item, you can pull one randomly from the deck. And that'll be that. 420, no issue. Awesome. Hi, Giannis. How you doing? Historic comedy. Did you see that, like, the stores where it's like I love number and like I love 68, I love 69, I love 70. I love 69 used to be oversold or like sold out in all those places. Now it's all 67. Those are the ones that are selling out. The rest of us, we're all old. That's how it is. Thanks, Llama Man. Makes it his responsibility to give memberships to everyone. Yeah, he does. What else did I get? I bought this. I bought this at Forbidden Planet, if you can tell the little sticker. Forbidden Planet's pretty neat. Half of the people watching are members now. That's true. Forbidden Planet's pretty neat. It's a huge store, but there's not that much RPG stuff in it. It's a nerd store in the middle of London, if you're not familiar. I've been there a couple of times now, and let me tell you, the nerd store here in Iceland is better. I get a lot of emails from people coming to Iceland, and they're like, "What should I do while in Iceland?" And I'm like, "You should go to our nerd store." Genuine recommendation from Daði at Mystic Arts. Nexus, the nerd store here in Iceland, is awesome. This is called the legally distinct Dungeon Meister side quests, deck of side quests. So this is another deck of things. I don't have an affiliate link for this one, but if you do find it on Drive Thru RPG, just click the affiliate link in the description to Trex thing, pick up Trex thing, and then there you go. All right, another number between 1 and 100. Has everyone done numbers already? Maybe I should scroll up and pick a number. What is the difference between a YouTube membership and a Patreon membership? Patreon's better. A YouTube membership gives you access to the Discord. A Patreon membership gives you access to the Discord and all newsletters on the Patreon. And if you're a higher level patron, you get our stuff. 9, says Steph. 9, so that will be at the very top. Hang on, no, this is the top, right? Because that's where the text is. So 9, we're going to go past this little rules manual. There's a manual. Don't read the manual. We'll go 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. What does this say? Strange celebration. The party is traveling. Okay. When they hear celebration happening, as they get closer to the sounds of revelry, they also begin to pick up voices that sound distinctly monstrous. When they come to the party, they find a tiefling, in brackets, sentient species, named Grim Grundlesby. Okay. Acting as a member of ceremonies for a group of ogres, in brackets, dangerous creatures, that are all getting along and having fantastic time if everyone gets close enough. If anyone gets close enough for them to be seen by the participants, they will be waved over to join. Written by 2 people? Okay. If the party decides to join the festivities, they can each take part in one of the events that is happening. One of the groups is having a game of charades. Anyone that joins in can roll a DC 15 history, insight, or performance check. Those that pass are given a party mask that can cast Disguise Self on the wearer once per day. Okay. Another group is having a pie eating contest. Anyone that joins in can roll a DC 15 Constitution save to eat the pie, or a DC 18 sleight of hand check to make it look like they ate the pie. Anyone that succeeds will be given an enchanted pie tin that can cast Create Food and Water once per day, but it can only make food that tastes like blueberry pie. Special. If drawn again, further in their travels, the group recognizes the party and warmly greets them. The group offers healing and removes any level of exhaustion the party might have. Well, that's neat. Neat enough. If you're ever stuck, big box. Never heard of the Dungeon Meisters before. I have no idea what this is. But I thought I'd pick it up. Fungal Queen stream. Hey, this is Abuji, who wrote The Minds of the Minotaur. Let's have a little look at The Minds of the Minotaur. Minds of the Minotaur. Page 94. Click. Look at that. Dilapidated entrance. The main entrance sits at the base of a sizable hill, near the root of a mountain known as John's Rock. The nearby shacks have long since collapsed in on themselves and now serve as a part of a nest belonging to 2 griffins that are out hunting. There's a whole encounter here with the griffins. Then there is a bloodied cavern with amber skeletons. They're like regular skeletons, but they don't have bows. That's the sort of the main thing. Oh, and they have blind sight. All the amber creatures have blind sight. One thing we wanted to do over the course of this adventure, and this is true about adventures like this one, is that Andrew. No, hang on. This is Colin's adventure. Andrew wrote the Brewing Cavern. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I messed it up. I'll talk about this anyway. Colin wrote this one. I'll tell you about the Brewing Cavern in a bit. One thing we wanted to do with all of them is we wanted to make sure they all hooked into the main story. So it all kind of, you go into the Mines of the Minotaur, it's about this Minotaur, but it's infected by the amber spores. There are these amber skeletons. So we're always trying to find little ways to tie the whole thing together. But I apologize, Andrew obviously wrote the Brewing Cabin. Andrew Pottery, it says so right there. If I could read, we would avoid most of the problems we suffer here on the channel. This one's sort of same thing. Here, there are the fungal rail runners. So earlier in the adventure, you might have met the rail runners, and you might have seen a fungal variant of them. In this encounter, I think there might be another one where they show up. It's a little lost on me at the moment. And one thing we like to do a lot is we like to put the stat blocks on the page. So when you're doing this encounter, Archie's cottage, yada yada yada, talking to Archie inside the cottage. There are bad guys in here. That's where the stat block is. So you can just run Archie's cottage off of this one page. You don't need to go flipping back and forth, back and forth. You just have it all here in front of you. It's the same with all of this. This here is the fungal amalgamation. Look at this fucking thing. It's 2 dudes, but they have been fungused into being 1 dude. Daði be illiterate challenge. AB, are you just in chat mocking me?
Yes.
That's funny.
I'm taking a mental break from editing.
Yeah? How far in are you?
Don't talk to me.
I bought this thing called the Puppet Hand's Guide to the Rainy City. I remember buying this, must be a long time ago, must be almost 10 years ago now. Depends on how old it is. I remember it being relatively new, I think, at least. Off of Drive-Thru RPG. Copyright 2024. Is there an older version of this? I feel like I've read The Rainy City ages ago. Might be wrong. Stephanie asks if AB is going to be at Gen Con. AB is going to be at Gen Con. Me and AB are both going to Gen Con. We're really excited about it. I'll be in a game. I'll be in Deficient Masters live play D&D, but actually Monopoly on one of the main stages. I don't know which one. I don't know what main means. I've never been, so maybe we're in some side cupboard and nobody shows up. I think there is capacity for like 200 people or something insane. Let's see. Can I, AB, can I convince you to find the Gen Con thing? Thank you. Puppet.
What specifically do you want me to check?
The D&D, but actually Monopoly live play event. AB is going to post a link in chat.
If Opera decides to fucking...
If Opera decides to fucking... Yeah. This I went to a booth that just sold a lot of OSR stuff. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Puppetry. Yes, Lou, I'm doing Green Dragon Fest next year in 2027. I'll be doing Green Dragon Fest, and I'll be running an adventure set in Orathon that is canon to my setting. So the early worm pricing, I think, is still open for a little longer. Hell yeah, AB's got it. If you want to come play with me And there are other content creators there, including, I think, Stephanie. Uh, and Professor Dungeon Master is usually there, Bob World Builder, a whole bunch of cool folks. Kelsey Dion, the Alexandrian. I'll be running campaign set in my setting, and it'll have a lasting effect on the shape of my world. This here is a setting. It's a city. Puppet Hand's Guide to the Rainy City. I have no idea what it is. Background. It's very short.
Wait, D&D, but actually Monopoly?
Yeah.
One of these is sold out.
Oh, those are the sessions. You're looking for the live play. Puppet's Accomplice. Puppet design. I don't. This isn't the. This isn't the guide to the Rainy City. This is a guide to puppetry in the Rainy City. I think this is just the puppets. I think that's hilarious. It's neat though. I got this one at the OSR booth thing. I also got Maze Rats, still in the plastic. It's like one of those sort of classic OSR games that I should have tried a million years ago. Here we go. Maze Rats. Written by Ben Moulton. I went to the booth there, and the fellow at the booth saw me buy Maze Rats, and saw me buy Knave, which I have here, and accusingly said to me, "Did you not own these games?" And I said, No, I didn't. And he said, "Weren't you just in Ben Milton's video with James Introcaso?" And I was like, yeah, yeah, don't tell anybody. That's going to be our secret. So you are all looped into this conspiracy. Knave, writing by Ben Milton. It's also got the rules on the inside cover here. I really like games that do that. Vagabond did it. I've seen it in a bunch of other games. I don't know where it starts. Maybe it starts with this book. I just don't know. Knave. It's a little bit longer than Maze Rats. By a little bit, I mean like Maze Rats, like a pamphlet game. It's thin. This is an RPG. If you've only ever played 5e, this might seem bizarre to you, but this here is a whole RPG. It is thinner than my index finger, and remarkably, so is Knave, but I do have a fairly thick index finger. Got all of these. Happy with them. Steph's amazing. Yeah. Everybody should be a fan of Stephanie. And then we went to Orc's Nest in London, because after UKG, me and AB decided to take a couple of days off. We had some business to attend to in London, so we stopped by there, got some Korean barbecue, and I went to Orc Pub, I think it's called. No, Orc's Nest. And I found these, and I'd been hanging out with the Loot Tavern guys a little bit, and they'd never sent me one of their books. I promoted them a couple of times, and I'm a big fan of their work. I've seen it digitally many times, and I think everything they do is awesome. But I decided to pick up these two, and so far I've been blown away by the quality of these books. It is easy for me to see, flipping through these books, why mythozoology did so well, because these are amazing. And just the quality of the art and layout, like they sort of pop off the page. Gorgeous stuff. I really love it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to play this. I have a sort of Eastern, like Asia-like analog in my setting, so I might be able to use this. I have been meaning to run a campaign there, both because I have now these books, but also because there's a Warhammer set of like cool ass armies for like Asia flavored, like Chinese flavored stuff with serpentine dragons and stuff like that, and it looks awesome. So that alone might get me to run that kind of setting. And now that I have these, I'll probably eventually do it whenever I find the time. Don't say nice things, I'll cry. Steph, your video on romance in TTRPGs is kind of the, like, I've been meaning to go make a video like that one, but yours is said everything I wanted to say. So I have nothing else to add. Your video was so fucking good. Hang on. Yanis asked the question. How often do you have to bail out your players and how hard? What's your take on the topic in general? You mean like take it easy on them?
It doesn't know how to do that.
I do think there is a video that I need to make, which is just called "It's Okay to Kill Your Players." Players' characters. Yeah.
Which is different from like being mean to your players. Or
Yes. No, you have to, if you're gonna kill a PC, you want to be fair and equitable, and you want to give them every chance to succeed. And then if they don't, you have to kill them. Like at that point, you've done everything you can. You've said, hey, if you fail this roll, these are the consequences. If this happens, these are the consequences. If you know, and just read it all out. I tell my players what the stat block says. I roll the attack rolls in front of them, and I say, they have a +10 to hit. I got a 14 on the die. Does a 24 hit your AC? And the players go, oh my god, should we run? Because they heard the math, and I think their characters should have a sense, when they get ambushed, they should have a sense of this is how much danger I'm in. So they can see how accurate the archer is. They can see that the archer, an elf ambushes them, pops out of cover and immediately loses an arrow, hits him straight in the head, ducks under cover again. They instinctually know how much danger they're in. The player's version of understanding the character's danger is understanding the math. So I tell them the math. I had an encounter recently. I'm not talking just off the cuff. I had an encounter recently. AB says it's almost a TVK. That's true. They were ambushed by 3 elves in the forest. They had been told beforehand, this area is controlled by the Night Font nomads. Their hunters are some of the best in the world. They had found a drow spymaster, a tough as nails drow spymaster, and she had said that she would not anger the Night Font. She would not go into their territory. They had fought a boss battle against one Night Font hunter. They had met a Night Font scout, and she, Mei Lin, had said, the Night Font are terrifying. I am a rookie in their ranks. And when they fought alongside Mei Lin, they were thinking how OP Mei Lin was. But they decided to go through Night Font territory anyway because they needed the shortcut. They needed to cross through their territory in order to get to the town of Bugtussle before some terrible, terrible events involving armies of orcas or whatever happened. So they decided to cut through the territory. They knew the risk they were taking. They made it anyway. I rolled a random encounter. I had the players roll it. And I said, in this area, it's a 5 or a 6 will get you a random encounter because it's a dangerous area. They got a 5. I asked them to roll for initiative. They said, against what? I say, does anybody have a perception of 25 or higher, a passive perception 25 or higher? They said, no. I said, then you roll with disadvantage because you're surprised. Then I walked in front of the table, rolled a die, got a 14. I say I got a 14. I say their initiative is 29. They said, nobody beats that. The elves go first. They shoot their arrows. These are CR9. Each of them is like the scale of a boss monster. There's 3 of them. They all make 3 attacks. They all have elven accuracy. So if they have advantage, they roll 3 dice and take the highest one. And they can cast Darkness and Silence, both, as a bonus action. These are the scariest hunters in the forest. I think there was a brief moment where everyone was unconscious. It was like petrifyingly scary. But I made sure during the entire encounter to tell the players the mechanics. This is how it works. This is how many elves there are. This is 3 dice, and I pick the highest one. They make 3 attacks. They do force damage. At this point, the players know exactly how much danger they're in because the characters know exactly how much danger they're in. The wizard runs out of the Aura of Silence. The Aura of Silence cuts the party in 2. The front line goes out on one side to go into melee with the elves. The elves are strong in melee and at range, but they are less strong in melee. The wizard runs out the back, takes out his drift globe. I give my players plenty of magic items because I'm a nasty ass DM, so I'm perfectly happy to give them cool magic items first and then punish them later. They take out the drift globe. They cast daylight, which dismisses the darkness, taking away the elven accuracy. And then the wizard says, get everybody to me, I have a scroll of teleportation. but the area is so big it's too late. The players go down and down and down. By the time the darkness is gone, 3 of them are already unconscious. They are all level 5. AB's correct, yeah. So at this point, all the players either they realize we're too far away to go run over to the wizard to get teleported, because in the time it takes us to go over there, we will be killed. So what do? They pull out their iPads or their inventories or whatever they have, and they start flipping through what consumable items do we have. The summoner takes out an elemental gem, crushes it, summons a water elemental right next to the night font. They kill it in a round. One version of that is, oh, I thought it would do more. The other version is, okay, that's a round they shot the water elemental instead of us. The wizard considers taking out his scroll of disintegrate. He was hoping to keep it until he could learn disintegrate, but now he's got it in his hand. Yeah, Maeve's badass. She's got a lady, which is a elven mithril sword of lightning. So it does I think 2d6 extra damage, and it's a +2 weapon. And she's a hunter, so she can do Hunter's Mark and then Colossus Slayer. So she does like a fistful of damage. She's cutting through these guys, but it's not enough. They kill one of the Night Font. They all go down. And Magnus, the player playing Church, has, from the start of the campaign, has had an artifact on his hip that he doesn't know how it works. He knows that it's somehow connected to Orcus, and I think the current theory that they're pretty sure of is that the skull is the head of the Rod of Orcus. It is the top of it. And he doesn't know how it works. He's got a list of abilities for it, but he knows it's way stronger than that. Several people have told him it's an artifact, even though the item says rare. And it's sort of changed as he's used it. He's unlocked abilities on it. And as he's about to go down, he realizes they're about to lose. He says to the skull, it can talk in the voices of the dead. He says to the skull, the elves won't take you further south. That's where the skull wants to go. It wants to go south to Bugtussle, where the Orcus' army was that I mentioned earlier. The elves won't take you further south. They'll take you to their home base. And the skull asks, will you? And just before he goes down, he says yes. And then he turns over his phone. Normally he runs his character off of his sheet, but he shows me his phone where he's got a D&D Beyond character sheet. And it says, Church, Cleric, level 5. And I go, yeah, all right. On your next turn, you get up, you have all your hit points, and you use that character sheet. You are no longer a warlord. You are fundamentally changed by making a bargain with the skull. With Orcus. He doesn't know what that means. Right now, that means he's a cleric. He can cast Mass Healing Word. He can cast Warding Bond. He can cast Toll the Dead. The wizard's going to use this opportunity to go, hey, the tide's swinging. Night Font elves, please run away. We will leave your territory. The Night Font elves say, if you loot the corpse of our fallen, we will murder all of you. They go, fine. And they split and go their separate ways. And now everybody's wondering, what did Church give up? And he says, I didn't promise anything in return. I said I'd take him further south. And we are already marching south. So, I've done my part. But we all know that's not how the demons of the world work. We know that something went wrong. We know that this is going to progress some kind of narrative. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like that's what the game is to me. People talk about like systems and stuff like that, and I'm like, there's no system that does what I do at the table. There's nothing to simulate that. This is just how I like running the game. He made a bargain with the skull, and now the whole party is questioning, can we trust Church? Or is he now an agent of Orcus? Thanks, Llama Man. Spellcasting components are for nerds that think about inventory management. At one point, Maki lost the party 7 soul coins because he never wrote them down on his character sheet. We're just going to out each other here. When they got to Bugtussle, spoilers, when they got to Bugtussle, Church told the leadership there that's what he'd done. And he said, I have the thing they want. The undead armies are attacking you because they want the skull that I have. Let's work together. 12 soul coins. Magnus, how can you be sure you didn't write them down? So, sound went all low all of a sudden and not rising again. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm talking quieter. So if that story sounds cool to you, by the way, this whole campaign, I talk about it on the Patreon. Click a button. It's called Daði's Diaries. There it is. And I talk about this kind of stuff. I talk about what happens in my game, the kind of stuff I do at the table, and how it affects the players, how the players come into it. And I share all my session notes, so you can literally read all this stuff. And I talk about it in those videos. That was a blast. That was 2 sessions ago, I think. They're now in the town of Bugtussle, and they're gonna go marching. They just heard the bells ring. The zombie army is on its way. Oh, thanks, Mans Nielsen. Yeah, I'm really proud of the stuff we do on there. This is a soft appreciation. Lava man, that's too much money, man. You gotta pace yourself. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. That's been a blast. This whole thing, this is all set in Atroxia, which is where the adventure is. So if you're just joining the stream, I'm here celebrating the fact that we finished the biggest project that we've done on this channel, the Crown of the Fungal Queen adventure, which is available now on the Patreon. Look, these are the pre-made characters fighting a fungal troll, and the ranger in the party here has a map of the area. This is the hex map that is visible just a little bit later in the adventure. Right here. Here's the hex map. Hang on, my face is covering it. That's the hex map up there, and there it is on the orcs map. I think it's a cute little Easter egg. I'm happy I could help. Bidden good to. Will I be dropping an Orthon setting book? I think that's sort of what we're doing. I don't know if there's going to be like a big Orthon setting book. There might be. The main way I would love to do one is if I could attach like a system to it or a narrative. I'm always of a big sort of opinion that like I don't know if there's much value in setting books that don't have adventures in them. And I think that's sort of what this is. Like, this includes a little bit of what Atroxia is like. Bye, Lou. See ya. Thanks for joining. This includes a little bit of what Atroxia is like. It includes a little bit of the sort of local area, the local politics. So, like, the broadsheets include way more. Way, way, way more. And then it's actionable stuff that you can actually, like, add on it. Oh, hi, Binary Kitten. Yeah. You met us at the hotel lobby in UKG when we were all hanging out. You came and said hi to us and Pointy Hat. Awesome. It was a great time in UKG. It's great to go because we get to talk to fellow creators, and it's not often you get to do shop talk at this kind of thing because it's such a weird job, and everyone I talk to in real life doesn't understand what it is we do for a living. So when we go to UKG, we get to go hang out with Antonio D'Amico, and William Earl from D&D Shorts, Will, and Trek was there, and a Dungeon Himbo, as he's now called, Jason, and Tom Grungeon Master. God, I started naming people. I'm going to forget someone. Gabriel, the Ugly Goblin. Monkey DM, Evan, Monkey DM, and the Loot Tavern folks, they were all there. We were all hanging out, having a great time. Oh, hey, Mr. Draymar. That's awesome. Yeah, the walking videos are nice because I have an excuse to touch grass, and I think I spend way too much in here in front of this computer screen. So that's great. And check out the Dungeons of Drakenheim if I haven't. I'd love an Atroxia version of that book. All right, I'll go get it. I'll go get it. Open up a tab right now. Dungeons. It's on D&D Beyond, right? Not gonna buy it right now, but I've got it open. Touching grass is underrated. I know. I know. We spend so much time in this hobby getting upset about stuff that won't matter. Um, I hope the Ravenloft video is taken the right intention because that's what's coming out on Thursday, and a big part of my hesitation about making that video was that I don't like that book got made basically because it's just a reprint and I think it's a really good one. I think it's a really good book, but it's very much a reprint, and like ultimately what WotC does with whether or not there's a Ravenloft reprint has nothing to do with Church making an ad hoc deal with Orcus in the middle of a fight. So I don't know. I don't know that I care. I do care, and I care less once I go out and touch grass and smell the air and look at the water. Because then I'm like, after, in a little bit, tomorrow I'll be running Bug Tussle as it gets attacked by zombies, and I won't be up in arms. I'll be back to having fun and doing my favorite thing in the world, which is running this game. Nothing else comes close. Thanks for joining, Private 13. What if touching the grass is magical? I mean, I think it is. Stuff that doesn't matter. Your thoughts on rolling versus point buy? We used to do rolling. We now do point buy. I think rolling's a lot of fun. I think if you're just doing a one shot or something, it's perfectly fine. I think if you run a long campaign and one of the player characters is better than the rest because of a good random number 3 years ago, I think that sucks. I think I'd rather be fair. I'd rather have character creation be slightly more boring, but fair for years and years and years, than have character creation be slightly more fun and be unfair down the line. And it's the same reason I don't roll for hit points. If you're doing a one shot, who cares? Like, that's fine. You can bust your characters in other ways in a one shot. But yeah. Is the book on Kickstarter? No, it is available on the Patreon. It is called Crown of the Fungal Queen. It is digital download only. We may one day make a print version of it. We have not figured out how to do that. This is the Crown of the Fungal Queen, and it is available on the Patreon. This is the Patreon, and these are the tiers. If you're a Mystic Adept, you get the book as a part of your subscription, along with the entire backlog. So you could literally go on there and grab everything we've made, which now includes probably 15 or 20 PDFs at this point. All yours for the price of 1 month of the Patreon subscription, or you can buy them independently if you don't want a subscription. My mom says she'll play Fungal Queen if my uncle does. Hell yeah. The Adventure of Fungal Queen it's all sort of Americana, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of folks are attracted to that, because it's this kind of different kind of mythos, but a mythos nonetheless, of Lewis and Clark and Taming the Frontier and all those things that are incredibly fascinating about American history. And it's one of those things that has been mythologized in a lot of ways and whitewashed in a lot of ways. And you get to, you get a different sort of flavor of fantasy because you're going to get to be playing something that is 5th edition, so it's going to feel familiar in a lot of ways, and it's going to be new in a lot of ways because firearms completely changed the ballgame, completely changed the meta. I remember when I first was thinking about firearms in D&D, I was thinking about a class or something like Matt Mercer had done. And I tried versions of that. It was fine. And then ultimately I decided to just make it equipment and make it have a feat. Because that way it'll work differently depending on if you're a rogue or a fighter or a ranger. Hell, even a paladin. Or a warlock, you can do ranged smites as a warlock. So that all these options open up as soon as you just go, it's equipment. Anybody could get it if they have the requisite feat. And then the fact that it has a feat cost and a reload cost balances out how insanely much damage it does. I've not been to the US. I'll be going there for Gen Con for the first time. That'll be my first trip to the United States. Hey, that's awesome, Dungeon Drew. Absolutely share that with me. Tell me how it goes. Come over to the Discord if you want. Eldritch Smite plus gun damage is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I hit my players with that once. Oh, somebody, yeah, Janus, you were asking about like being fair. In that encounter with the Night Font, there was no opportunity to talk, as somebody questioned in chat, but they had been told that much. They knew that the Night Font did not consider humans to be people. They did not speak their language, and they knew it did not interest them. They knew that the area was dangerous, and they knew that the Night Font were dangerous. They knew that the hunters were dangerous. They take the risk anyway. And that's sort of where the fairness comes in, right? It's in the forewarning. And if there's no forewarning, and then they get ambushed and nearly killed, it would have felt, and not only just unfair, it would have felt like very unsportsmanlike. And if that had been the case, if they'd never heard of these guys, they would have shown up and tried to negotiate. And there was a random encounter early on in the campaign where a dragon, they rolled, and an ancient red dragon showed up. And because they had had no forewarning, the ancient red dragon wasn't going to go kill them. As long as they were decently supplicanty, they bowed before it. It decided they didn't need to hurt them, so it just took off and used the legendary action wing buffet thing. Took off, which nearly killed the wizard. Nearly. And then it's like, okay, there is an ancient red dragon. We saw it off. We now know it's out here. So the next time we see it, Daði is probably going to give us a bit more heads up, and it's going to be up to us to hide. With the Night Font, they'd had so many warnings that I thought it was okay to just roll initiative and shoot them. And they complained. They were like, "Listen, these guys are crazy powerful. This is insane."
Plenty of warning. I still don't think I at least was really surprised by exactly how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Like you say these things but also as a player we know you can say things are like the example you like to give is like there's a scary haunted castle or whatever over the hill. Don't go there. That's the DM saying there's adventure there. So yeah. I was sort of in that phase too. I was like, okay, it's going to be tough, but it's not going to be immediate murder.
No, and what's important to mention there is that because in Everlasting, the players don't all play together all the adventures. They split up. Yeah. So you had not gotten the same amount of forewarning as Ivar and Magnus's characters. And Ivar and Magnus, who had got the most amount of forewarning, when it started getting TPK, both of them were like, yeah. Like, both of them were like, that tracks.
Yeah.
And the people who thought it was most unfair was the people who had not been told about any of this because they weren't in the scenes. And they had been convinced by the other two players who knew the dangers and had maybe not telegraphed them.
If they're okay with us going through this, then we must be fine.
Yeah.
Pro tip. I'm never listening to them again.
Yeah. Yeah, the wizard almost dying from the wing buffet is not my fault. That player decided to dump Khan and has not shown any interest in putting a point into Khan, so he has 22 max hit points at level 5. One of these days he's going to get killed by a stray arrow, and we're all going to go, yes, that's what happens. Pro tip, attend every session. Yeah, so in Everlasting, they split up, and that's both on me and on them. There's there's this thing where we sort of do prologue adventures, intermediate, or downtime adventures, and one player will go do a whole quest by themselves, or maybe two players do a whole quest by themselves. And what had happened is consistently it was a couple of players that had gotten more warning than the rest. So it is... It's not surprising to me that AB specifically, who had gotten the least amount of warning, was like, what the hell? And she also hasn't played with me that much before. Really, this is only not including tiny campaigns, this is your second thing or something that we're playing together. Because there were some smokers, there was the actual play you played.
I mean,
there's Octavia. Yeah. So it's the only like I would probably never pull this kind of nonsense in a 6 session adventure, but because it's a very long campaign and
Yeah.
I know the level range is there, I'm okay with that setup. Um, but the players who had played with me a bunch, many of them were also like, yeah, that, okay then. Like the main bad guy of Kingmaker 2 was immune to all damage. I don't, it's up to the players to figure out how to deal with that stuff. I just make the bad guys. I'm not in charge of winning the game. What's that matter? Attend every session. Even when there's no session. The You just sit in the corner. I have a really strict thing about that because both Ivar, who had gotten fair warning, and AB, both of them live here. So if I'm running a game in the living room and they're not in it, they have to wear noise canceling headphones when they go cook or whatever in the middle of a session. No cheating. Where do I buy it? Take my money. It's available on the Patreon. It's hey, what? No, what? As an Adept tier member, you can get the adventure Crown of the Fungal Queen, which is available on the Patreon. It looks like this. Look at that. Get it there. I will gladly take your money. The adventure is set in a fantasy version of the American frontier called the Ashwood Forest, where a fungal infestation has created a mixture of the movie Annihilation and the video game The Last of Us, set in a Americana-style frontier in D&D. Did I do it? Is that the pitch? And Llama Man gifts more subs. Well, Llama Man, how do I... Can I make you like a different color? I don't know. That M is so fancy. I know, right? Good fancy M. No print version, sadly. No, all digital now. We are working out how to do print versions, and I hope to have... Actually, I meant to do some like channel update stuff. We are working out how to do print versions. We have found some partners that we can work with in this. We are going to hopefully have some announcements on that front in terms of what it is we're doing, when they'll be available, pricing, etc. And they'll probably be available in stores and stuff like that. Once we see some figures on that, we'll start thinking about stuff like, kickstarting big setting books or any of those things. But at the moment, I'm just wanting to get my footing in terms of writing, getting feedback. I want to make sure that our first foray into one of those sort of third-party Kickstarters, which I do want to do, I absolutely want to do it so bad, you've no idea. You've no idea, folks. I talk about it all the time. I make my friends crazy with that shit. But I want to make sure that we get good at this first. And I want to make sure that we get all our ducks in a row, that we know how to present the setting and how to figure out the whole thing works on our own, and how we can make these in-house as best as we can. And we're getting there. We're getting there. We've built up a solid team, and we're able to fund that tiny little team of just the 5 of us, if you include the guy who paints our minis. Who's not full time with us. He occasionally does a bit of work. We've built that team throughout the Patreon, and that the patrons who support us through the stuff like the broadsheets and through Crown of the Fungal Queen. That is what makes us able to do it, and makes us able to maybe one day be able to make our own setting book or something to that degree. You should try working with Daði. He'll give you a 2-month deadline, and all of a sudden you got no choice but to write 100 pages. Sorry, Magnus. Sorry. Your adventures are really good, though. Those are some sick-ass dungeons you made. It was good fun. He did a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch got... were from fans. We got 5 of them, the contest winners of the Dungeon Mayhem contest. We can announce the winners on here. I think I did last stream, but I'll do it again here. Want to make sure I get all these right. Don't want to make a mistake like I did earlier. The Library of Worlds by Felix. Immediately, I lost the last name. Felix Perez. Grimroot by Duck and Matt Chat. Brewing Cabin by Andrew Baudry, Lion's Rest by Johan Goldhart, and Abandoned Mine by Colin Farnsworth. They had written these incredible dungeons with very like rock solid pitches that just had the whole story kind of baked in. We immediately those are the ones that we sort of latched onto and we thought fitted not just the overall story we were telling. We saw opportunities to tie it further into the story, but also they just had rock solid premises on our own that we got immediately. Lots of folks had really good premises, but it took us multiple readings. But the ones that had them right at the start, we were like, done, brilliant, excellent. And there were so many people who made excellent, amazing dungeons, but truly mortifyingly difficult was having to pick just 5 of them. And those are the ones we ended up picking, and they were amazing. And so were all the other competitions. If you want to see more than just the dungeons that ended up in here, on the Discord there is a Dungeon Mayhem forum where people have been applying or posting their submissions. And they are incredible. There's an active community there of folks who are reading these things and giving each other feedback. And it is just beautiful to watch. Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much. I just took the one-on-ones with 4 of the dungeon winners yesterday. It was a great time. We talked about all kinds of stuff. Talked about downtime systems and settings. It was just a blast. Curlio Boyo, I assume your gift came from Mitchell Freeman 4346. That's Llama Man. He's been gifting subs like crazy. Crazy. Wait, it just needed to be a pitch? No. They were all whole dungeons. It's everything. You know, you got to get the pitch and then you got to deliver on it, and you know, it's all these things. Writing dungeons is very tough because you're writing a game that is also a story. It is exceedingly difficult. But the thing is that there were so many good ones. It's kind of insane, and so many of them were just like fascinatingly set up, like in a way that wouldn't work with what we were doing. We wanted them all to, like, we didn't want you to flip the page and suddenly there's a completely different format. We wanted them all to sort of tie together and fit together in a way that made sense. You know, when you just go through it, if you don't know that some of them are written by contest winners. So we took all of them, we rewrote them a little so they'd sort of fit in with our narrative. Magnus did an excellent job sort of taking them and making them fit with the kind of dungeons that he'd been writing, the kind of dungeons I'd been writing. And he did the same for me. Like the stuff I wrote, he went through with a fine-tooth comb and sort of unified the style of all of this. That's why he's the lead designer. Yeah, this stream is happening because Llama Man had begged for it. That is true. Lots of cool art, bucket punk. Yeah. That's same too. Like, so we wanted all of these to fit on like a spread. So we asked for 650 words. And then we discovered that if we wanted the stat blocks on there, we'd have to make them probably 2 spreads. Because if it's 650 words with 4 stat blocks, that's going to have to be 2 spreads. But then we also realized that we needed to add details to some of them. And we thought partway through the contest of upping the limit to 1,200 words. But we knew because we looked at some of the submissions that were coming in, and folks were being really economical with their wording, which happens when you ask for 650 word limit. We knew that if we'd say 1,200 words, people wouldn't be less economical. They would just add more rooms. They would make a bigger dungeon with a higher, a larger scope idea. So I think the sort of best of both worlds is asking for 650, and then we have to go and like trim it to the 2 spreads that we wanted to be. But some of them ended up being 3 spreads because we wanted to fit in like an extra map or an extra piece of art or something. Yeah, Barriscan Castus. I'm certain we'll do this again sometime. I don't know when. I have no plans for it right now. Thanks, FGC. Thank you so much. That's really generous. You too, Akron. Yeah, and Llama Man's plugging the actual play. we're working on one right now. People ask us all the time when an actual play is coming on. I have a specific vision for it, but we have an unedited version up in early access on the Patreon. And the reason it's in early access is because AB is editing episode 1 right now, and she has spent all day on it, and half of yesterday, and she's not going to finish it today. It is an insane amount of editing that we want to do because we want it to be tight and snappy. We want it to be good and to the point. So it's going to be a whole thing. Can you give insight on how much the art in such a book costs to let somebody make? I don't want to talk about folks' rates or anything like that, but I can tell you it's one of the biggest expenses that we had for this, if not the biggest. Like, unless you count me and Magnus as the writers, but like outsourcing art, we got a couple of new artists in. We have an in-house artist, and it's one of the most expensive things we do. But it is what brings it to life. It is what sort of lets you see the world in your head, and even then, like we talk about it as if it costs a bit of money, but we're getting the art as reasonably as we can. We're getting from artists who are willing to work with us at our rates. We're not getting MTG artists or anything like that, but these are incredible artists that frankly should be charging us more, and I'm certain they will in the future. And we'll be happy to pay those artists. But the thing is, it's also a lot of stock art. It's a lot of like stock art that I buy off of like the internet and have licenses for to just fill up the pages, because 160 pages, if we want an art on every spread, that's 80 pieces of art. If you guesstimate what it is to buy at the Indie Character Commission or whatever, these things get expensive fast, and they get expensive fast even if you get artists that are undercharging. So you want to pay your artists well, you want to get good artists, you want them to be happy and get to want to come back to work for you. So that whole process is pricey, and we're lucky that we got the incredible art and the incredible artists that came on and worked on it. And I think it looks so good. I think all of it's brilliant. In particular, it was Brimron who did the cover this year. These pieces are Brimron's. She also did like the big chapter dividers. So you get like, actually not this one, that's stock art. What? This one. Of the Beaver of Knowledge. That's Brimron as well. Got to give a raise to whoever made the giant beaver. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And then, these bits are stock art that you get. This is Brimron's piece here. This is Tyler Ellis. And we put the credits of the artists right here on the page, because I want you to know that these are people that you can go look up. You can go see their work online and find out what they did and what else they're doing. And you can go contact them and get your own commissions. Go reach out to them. Support those artists. What else? This here is Alley or Arcane Affinity, and they do their own book. You can go find that on their website, Arcane Affinity. They sponsored an episode in the past. They're amazing. They do incredible work. Giant Beaver. Yeah. The Giant Beaver was a chat invention. They demanded the beaver. So, obviously, the beaver is here. You guys want to see what the beaver says? Where is it? Here it is. Giving away the beaver content. Free beaver on the internet. Hey, I was chewing those logs, says the beaver. A beaver of gigantic proportions. This is the Beaver of Knowledge, a massive creature of unknown origin that calls the Ashwood its home. It has witnessed the slaughter of the loggers. There were loggers here that got slaughtered. And if you make a friend of it, it'll cast Bless on you for 72 hours. Look at that. It speaks? Of course. You insult the Beaver of Knowledge? Of course the Beaver of Knowledge speaks. It's better than that. I click on this page. Auto links me to the stat block. How cool is that? And look, here's the Beaver of Knowledge's stat block. Gargantuan Fey, Titan, Lawful Good, 223 hit points. It doesn't speak. It speaks in all languages. It is the Beaver of Knowledge. Of course, it's got True Sight, Legendary Resistances, Magic Resistance, and it's got Knowledge Blast. Intelligence saving throw, DC 19. Each creature in a 30-foot emanation takes 16d6 psychic damage and is stunned if it fails. You piss off the beaver, it'll blast you with its brain. Beaver blast. And then you're gone. Then you're dead. And if you're not dead, you're stunned. And then it's going to gnaw at you for 26 damage per attack. And speak to you in whatever language it wants. It's going to find out what languages you speak and then annihilate you. But only if you're evil, because it's a good guy. The Beaver of Knowledge is a titan of origins known only to the beaver itself. Knowledge comes to him unbidden, seeping into his mind in a process that ranges from uncomfortable to downright painful. Complicated beaver. What does the giant beaver chomp down to wear down his teeth? The logs in the forest. Yeah, Mikey J, make a review. I would love for people to review this. Obviously. And run it. I know that some folks are already planning to. We're talking to folks in the Discord. And I can't wait to see what people say. I'm so proud of the stuff we did here. Hang on. Let me show you one more. Let me show you Haggis. Have you seen Haggis? Haggis, the fairy dragon. The Fey dragon. Different. The Fey dragon. Look. It's eating a muffin. It loves muffins. This is another piece by Arcane Affinity. The Beavers by Birna. Knowledge blast equals info dump. Hell yeah. It's an autistic beaver. I mean, yeah, this is so cool. I'm so happy we did this. And the way these things link together. So early on, Magnus was like, what if we made it so that the pre-made characters, because we decided to make pre-mates for this, what if they have different third level options? What if they change subclasses depending on what you do in the adventure? So for instance, the easiest example is the Druid, because there are 2 Druid groves on the map. And in order to reach 3rd level, the Druid has to join a Druid grove. Right? Doesn't seem terribly complicated. And if the Druid joins the Gentle Grove, the Gentle Path, they become one kind of Druid. But if they join the Moonstone Path, they become another kind of Druid. Learns Moonbeam and gets better at Wild Shape and stuff like that. Right? So depending on what you do with your pre-made, so even if you've never played D&D before, or you have a player that's never played D&D before, they're going to get a character sheet, and the character sheet is going to say, to get to 3rd level, join a Druid Grove. So that player is going to go, hey DM, where are the Druid Groves? And the DM's going to go, you could ask around town. So you go walking around Dilhorn, the town in the adventure, and you go ask, where are the Druid Groves? What kind of Druid Groves are there? Oh, I don't know, but there's rumors of one here, rumors of one there. You go to one of those Druid Groves, and they have problems to deal with, including they know about each other. They have problems linked to each other. So the Moonstone Grove is dealing with the Ratmen are dealing with the Gentle Grove. So now this whole network makes it so that you have to untangle the entire web over the course of like a session or 2. And now you end up in this position where you go, which Druid Grove do I want to join? It's up to you. And for some of them, it's that way, but it could be simpler. So the fighter, for instance, might encounter the wizard in the adventure, and the wizard has been doing some unethical stuff. So when you're playing the fighter, you a regular fighter, you get your action surge, whatever. And you got the character sheets, and then if you go the dutiful path, you get access to some of the Mage Hunter fighter from broadsheet number 3, which is our subclass of fighter, which is like anti-mage. It has like items for fighting wizards, because you went and fought the wizard. Or you could go work with the wizard and learn to cast magic. Right? So these are 2 different ways the fighter can go. So even if the player has never played D&D before, I mean, that's what the pre-mades are for. Obviously, if you don't want to run a pre-made, you want to run your own character, absolutely go do that. It works perfectly fine. But if you are the pre-made and you've never played before, you're going to get a character sheet and it's going to tell you how to level up. It's going to say, hey, go do this. Go make a choice. And which one do you pick? That's going to change your character. Have you thought about being back gold for XP plus monster death XP? I mean, you can do that if you want to run like a West Marches style game, but for this, we specifically wanted to make sure that it was reflective of going out into the forest and doing the adventure. So on the character says it just like on the sheet. So let's have a look at one of the pre-mades here. This button. To reach level 5, you have to open the sealed door. It says on your sheet, you have to open the sealed door. You don't know what that means, but if you've been playing the adventure long enough, you will have figured out what the sealed door is, right? Same with, to get to level 4, you must reforge the blade. In the first adventure, you get a broken blade, right? So the point, like a lot of people watched that XP versus milestone video, and they were thinking that, you know, oh, you should go for gold to XP. You should go for this. You should go for that. That is the best method. I don't know if those people understood the message of that video, because the video isn't about one method's better than another. I don't think keystones are better than milestone or better than XP. I think they do what those two things do, you know, kind of at the same time. I think there's virtue in that. But I don't think any method is better. I think that would be sort of a kind of an absurd claim to make. Because if you're running an adventure where it's all about getting as much gold as possible, gold for XP makes sense. If you're running an adventure where you're running, where you're a bunch of people who do not want to own property, where you're all like monks who have like given away or choosing to be without possession, then obviously you can't do gold for XP, right? So the point of the video is just think about what kind of stuff is the adventure about? What is the gameplay loop? Reward the gameplay loop. That is it. That is the whole thing. So if you want to do, you know, gold for XP, you can do that. If you want to do kill monsters, get XP, you can do that if you want to run that kind of game. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. What kind of game is the actual play? It is a murder mystery. It is going to be a game set in Blackguard, in the setting that we're right up in the broadsheets. But it is a murder mystery. An inventor who feared for her life dies of a heart attack before the age of 30. And a group of people who knew her or had met her find this whole thing suspicious. They're going to start looking into it. And they discover that there is a conspiracy that goes much deeper than they thought into areas involving a strange combination of magic and technology, and how those two do not work together. And they're going to be pulling on that sort of almost Eldritch Cthulhu-like thread in a very deadly adventure where they are playing as investigators in the city of Blackguard. And coming out tomorrow, in less than 24 hours, is the 7th episode of the adventure, The Crucible, on Patreon for expert subscribers on the tier. But if you don't want to join the Patreon, that's absolutely fine. They'll be up on YouTube whenever we're done editing them. Best selling point. It includes a wonderful old NPC man with a funny voice. That is true. That is absolutely true. That's it. So we've been very busy with the Patreon. That's sort of, you know, we've been talking about a lot in the videos. We've been trying to point people towards what we're doing there. I'm very proud of all the work we do there. But I also look forward to getting back to a healthier rhythm with it. I think we sort of worked ourselves to the bone over the last couple of months. And we're probably going to cool off a little bit. I assume that after this, we might be making the broadsheets be bi-monthly, as in every other month. And put other stuff up on there in the interim that, you know, like monsters and things like that. we'll see. We'll experiment with it. We haven't made any decision. I don't think we will until like the year is out, as we'll just sort of play it by ear and figure out what is the best method forward, what people respond best to, and I can't wait to get to a point where we are hopefully just back to making sort of a classic DM advice videos, but I've not been able to really think about them for the past couple of months because we've been so hard at work on the Fungal Queen stuff. So I feel like the videos we've been doing haven't been the classic kind of DM advice videos that I want to do. I'm quite happy with the Dungeon Rooms one. I thought that one was pretty good. But I've got a couple of ideas in the pike that I'm sort of looking forward to, including one on Hex Crawls to Dungeons that's going to talk about Fungal Queen a little bit, and one on Towns that's going to talk about Fungal Queen a little bit. But after those, I'm going to have to sort of go back to the drawing board and figure out what our next steps are with the whole DM advice videos and stuff like that. I'm really excited to go make kind of more typical DM advice videos. I don't know. I'm coming off of vacation. I'm sort of stuck in thinking about what it is we want to do right now and trying to balance work life. Like we started this, and I started this my full-time job in September last year. And I think I've kind of discovered that I'm a terrible, terrible boss because I really just I want to make as much stuff as possible. I love making stuff. And there's the Daði who's like looking at the spreadsheets and making sure the math works of this business, which I guess it is what we're doing. And then there's the Daði who likes making stuff. And the problem I have is that both of these different versions of me want to just make stuff all the time. And then in between, there's the Daði who has to eat food and clean his apartment and get enough sleep. And that guy is tired. So we're sort of hoping to figure out exactly what it is we're doing. So this week you're just getting the Ravenloft video. I'm talking about the book, and I'm gonna have to play it by ear. I'm gonna make a video about UKGE pretty soon. People diss in the Icelandic summer. I spent a little bit of time in the UK, and it was sweaty. Everywhere we walked in, it was like the air was trying to stop moving. It was like it was sort of desperate to cling to the ground. And then we came home. We took a big breath in of fresh Icelandic air. Ah. People were like, "Oh my God, you have to wear a coat in the summer?" Yeah, but our air is awesome. You did come to the UK at a terrible time. It was like a devastating heat wave, and the people in the UK haven't figured out how air conditioning works. They're still working on that one. Air conditioning and Wi-Fi are two things they're tripping them up. I'm sorry if you live in the UK. Whenever I go to the UK, I bicker about the cell reception. I used to say that you can go on an Icelandic glacier and stream Stranger Things, and my friends told me I was insane. And then we went on an Icelandic glacier, completely unrelated to that claim, and I did stream Stranger Things because we have an incredible cell reception in this country. And the buildings in the UK have thick old walls that were built back before they knew what plagues were, and the cell signal just bounces right off. Oh, don't resurrect the Fahrenheit thing. Good God. Yeah, so we're gonna try and take it easy. I'm sort of gonna use this time now to recalibrate it a little bit to figure out what it is that makes work-life balance work. Nobody needs to get worried. It's I'll be fine. Everything's fine. We'll be okay. My wife is from Indiana, says Magnus. It was a pretty big milestone when she described the weather here in Iceland as warm for the first time. Yes. Yes. In Iceland, it's considered to be really hot outside if you have to only wear a hoodie. That is a hot day. Yeah. I think that's it for today. Unless there's something that we need to talk about, let me go check my notes. We're working on chase rules. There's going to be a map pack for the Fungal Queen coming out soon. Yes, Trek, I promise to tell you if I figure out work-life balance. I don't think I will. I think I'll just sort of have a couple of weeks of slightly... The loudest car in the universe. Wow. I think I'll just take a little breather and then go back to having no work-life balance at all. This is the thing. You make your hobby your job, and you're going to work all the time. That's how it works. Ravenloft review coming out. AB is editing the actual play. I'm working on a map pack. There's going to be monsters soon. 2761 Gaming. Work 4-day weeks. First, let me try working a 6-day week. We'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly. The more time I take off, the more project I start. It's dangerous. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. New monsters, chase rules, and I've got a couple of new collabs in the pike. And I've been thinking a lot about a mega game, and how to set up a new mega game. How to set up a new mega game and film it this time. We filmed a mega game when we just started the channel. We filmed an RPG with me and 30 people all playing characters doing like a war game. The footage got corrupted. I talked about this on stream at some point, but the footage got corrupted and couldn't get any of it. So I want to do it again. I want to do it again irrespective of having not made a video. But I'm going to figure it out. We're going to make another one of those. I think that's sort of the big project that I'm thinking about right now. And then we're going to do the back to the broadsheets once I've had a little bit of time to recalibrate. I'm going to go play some more James Bond. The new game is awesome. It is really fun. As a huge Bond fan, I've been a Bond fan ever since my dad told me that if he didn't have to pick me up from school on account of me having been, in a fight, because I used to get in fights all the time. He said, if I don't have to pick you up from school after you've been in a fight, and because the teachers got called on you, if you behave for 1 week, we'll watch a movie. And we'd sit down and watch James Bond 1 week at a time for 20 weeks. And then we did Indiana Jones and then Batman. And then we just started exploring DVDs. And that's how I got into movie making. That's how I became a director. And that's how I got like really into cinema. But it all started with James Bond. And I've ever since been a huge, huge, huge Bond fan. So I'm absolutely astounded by getting to play a James Bond video game. And it feels like somebody who reads Marvel comics getting to watch those Marvel movies back when they were good. It is that same experience. I'm a James Bond fan. And the Easter eggs they're dropping, the music choices they're doing, the stingers they pick, the lines they use. It tickles me pink. Now this class isn't Bard, it's Fighter. Damn right. No, I got better. This completely worked, by the way. I never got into fights again. I was like, if I don't get into fights, I get to watch movies? Movies are awesome. Used to have a Bond theme as my ringtone. Hell yeah. The superior Bond theme is the one from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I'll broach no argument. In fact, I might go as far as to say that On Her Majesty's Secret Service is the best Bond movie. This is how I start fights. That's where we're going to pick it up next time. Thanks so much for watching this video. This channel is run by me and my girlfriend. AB, give us a wave. Wee. We'll see you all. Wee. What do I normally say? If you want to support us directly, go check out our Patreon. Go check out The Adventure, The Crown of the Fungal Queen, available now. If you're a part of the Mystic Adept subscription, you get it as a part of your subscription, and you get the whole backlog as well. You can also buy it separately if you don't like subscription models. Both are available. Currently, it is only available on the Patreon. We have looked into other avenues, such as print or other websites. We are not engaging in any of them at the moment. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment and share. Subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we release new videos. And until next time, keep studying the mystic arts. Keep studying the mystic arts.